Right on down to her and her big brother, Stone Mims. Please welcome these beautiful ladies to the show.
Hi.
Happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you. Same to you.
It is exciting to just be in this space, isn't it? I mean, we always are celebrating moms, but it's nice to just sort of take a moment out to do so. Your mom, you learned a lot. She was tough, very clear.
Very clear.
No nonsense,
Not
right?
at all. No, nothing accepted outside of excellence. And my grandmother was the same way. You know, so I had no
down
choice.
to kids as children, right? The grades had to be everything, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. My mother grades were unacceptable, anything less than honor roll. And
Wow.
I remember I was a writer early on, and she would say, sit down and write a poem. And I would say, Mom, I can't. And she said, yes, you can. And so I would sit there, and eventually I would write.
Right.
And so I would tell people, and they said, do you ever get writer's block? And I was like, no, Jacqueline Jordan rid me of all writer's block, because she really taught me to really believe in myself.
Right, right. And I know, though, there was a time, too, though, where it was like, there had to be a lot of pressure, too, right?
Absolutely. And I think that's a lot of times what, especially, you know, mothers of color, we want our daughters to be so strong. We teach our daughters, we want them to be so strong. And I remember thinking, I can never really be good enough for my mother. Will it ever be enough? If I get straight A's, if I do this, will it ever be enough? And I remember when I was around in my early 30s, my mother gave me a card for Mother's Day. And everything that she said made such an impression on me. And she said, it's okay to make mistakes. And I remember I burst in tears because she had never really given me.
That was the first time.
That was the first time in my entire life.
You had 2 kids by then,
I had
were
2
good
kids
and
and a
grown,
husband by
right?
then.
So Chanel, let me ask you, say, Mom, does this sound familiar, or which?
Yes, but maybe not as tough. Like, it's tough, but not to the point where I can't handle it or understand, or I feel like she's, you know, doing too much. It's kind of, I think she softened it up a little bit.
Just a little bit, huh?
Yeah, just a little bit.
So tell me, I know when you were, you're a DJ now, but there was a time you were in school and you were like, Mom, I want to do some different things. And she was like, say, what?
Yes.
You want to be a DJ?
Yeah. Well, my mom was also in the industry, so now I get it. Being a woman in the industry, I get why she was trying to keep me out of that. Because there's a bunch of stuff that I deal with, and I'm like, okay, now I understand what my mom was, you know.
So Mother was right.
Yeah, she definitely was right. But I still went after it regardless and made it, just kept going regardless of how I'm treated.
And Crystal, I know for you, there was a point where you just said, you know what, I am going to parent just a little differently. No disrespect to Mom, but it's sometimes the lessons we learn that made you say, go ahead, baby.
Absolutely.
I'll
Well,
just get your 1s and 2s and just keep it moving. Right?
I didn't do what my mom is a nurse. I'm an entertainment publicist. I was nothing like she did. And so I wanted her to be a chemical engineer. Totally different.
Very different.
And one day she came home from college, it's her 3rd year of college at Kennesaw State, and she said, Mom, I'm not happy. I'm doing this for you. I can't keep living for you.
How did it feel to hear that?
I felt guilty and I felt hurt, honestly, and I realized I was wrong. And I remember her being 12 years old and wanting to DJ and wanting to be in the band, and me saying, Chanel, if this is not something you can make money off of, you need to do something else. And so I remember, again, 3 years into college, a lot of money spent, I said, you know what? Do what you want and I will support you 100%. She withdrew, she started all over again, went after an audio engineering degree. And it's funny because now she DJs for me. I see her out.
Wow.
And it's beautiful because I realized that I had to allow her to be herself. Just like my mother had to. I didn't really give my mother a chance, but it happened so much later in life.
A quick question, I'm curious, was your mother like, leave the baby alone, let her go be a DJ?
Of course she
of
was.
Course. Of course. It's completely switched up,
Of
right?
course Grandma forgot all the things that how hard she was on me. And it's not that way because it's her granddaughter. But yeah, she was like, support Chanel, Chanel's gonna be fine. And I'm seeing, like, you know, sometimes at this age, you know, she's in her mid-20s, I have to release the reins and allow her and support her as the woman that she's growing to be. And so that's the biggest lesson I think I've learned. And I actually learned a lot from her. Her fearlessness, I learned from.
Wow. It's interesting what we end up picking up from our children, isn't it? Wait, I'm sorry, hold on one second. Yeah, Kathy, my executive producer, Kathy Saps, there's a video that we need to take a look at. Something about children celebrating their moms. Hold on, let's just take a look at this real quick.
Okay.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I wish I could be back to celebrate with you and Chanel in Atlanta on this day, but I'm glad that I got the opportunity to send this. I can't thank you enough for everything that you've done over the years. I know it wasn't always easy. The soccer practices, the taekwondo practices, every debate team meeting, all of these different things, helping me through college, helping me through my master's program. You have been there for me and Chanel every step of the way. And we both know that we can always rely on you. And we also hope that you know that you can rely on us now. We both love you so much. I can't wait to see you this summer. But have a great day, Mom.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good job, baby girl. Thank you for
God.
helping us make that surprise
Oh my
from
God.
Stone, your
Oh my God.
25-year-old son,
25 years
who is a professor,
College professor.
a college professor. What does that feel like when you get to hear what your children? We don't always say to our mothers, but we're thinking it in 30 seconds.
It's hard because I wasn't expecting that. There was a lot of sacrifices, but I think that just for every mom, mothers need to know that it's always worth it. All the sacrifices are worth it. You know, there were a lot of hard times that I didn't want them to see, but when I see her living in her passion, and I see him pursuing his passion and doing amazing things and doing so much more than I could possibly do, I know that everything was worth it, and I'm so grateful that God trusted me with the two of them.
With the gift and the blessing. Happy Mother's Day. All right.
Thank you.
When we return, we're going to have our Mother's Day celebration